Today, 4 athletes were excluded from competition in the Olympics in London because they were caught doping. As you're aware, this is a big problem that has been in the news now and in the past for quite some time. I've been thinking about how to resolve this issue because, after all, a lot of very successful Olympic athletes are suddenly excluded because they fail to pass a test. And I think this is inherently unfair, and we all know that something should be done. So I'd like to propose a series of new events which I am going to submit to the International Olympic Committee so that athletes may participate in these new categories when they have been excluded from the others. This benefits the athlete, it benefits the viewing public, and I think there's an important lesson here too. So, if you know how gymnastics works, for example, there's different types of competition, such as the rings, floor exercises, the uneven bars, and individuals compete by performing certain exercises which are scored for degree of difficulty, and the number of different difficult exercises they perform and how well they perform it determines a score, and whoever has the best score is going to win a gold medal. So I was thinking that we could have special categories for these individuals that are doping. Now, some of the categories I'm thinking about would be things like anabolic androgenic steroids. You know what I'm talking about. This would be like 1-androstenediol, or cholesterol, or danzol. And of course, these would be the exogenous steroids, the ones that are found outside of the body. And there would be a separate category for the endogenous steroids. And I think you also know what I'm talking about. Things like aldosterone, aldostenediol, dihydroxytestosterone, and the list is very large. There are, of course, other anabolic agents, quite a few in fact, and for instance clenbuterol and tibolone and serenol and salbaterol. And then, of course, we have the category of peptide hormones, growth factors, and related substances. This would be stuff like erythropoietin, which helps increase the number of red blood cells to carry oxygen, and other materials such as hypoxic inducing factor and stabilizers, as well as pengenstatine, and of course chorionic gomatotropin, luteinizing hormones, insulins, choriotrophins, growth factors, insulin-like growth factors, the list goes on. But I suggest that each of these drugs within the category of peptide hormones, growth factors, and related substances should be competing within one particular event so that the athlete may choose which of these agents they want to use. Each will have a certain difficulty level, and they will try to achieve a certain tissue concentration. And once they do that, whoever has the highest score based on that scoring system would win, but there'd be one very important stipulation, and that would be that there will be no posthumous awards. So, this is critical. It's an important safety factor. They can't just load up on the drug and then get their blood drawn, their urine tested, and then drop dead and win the prize because they have the best score, the highest concentration, the highest difficulty level. The way it would work is they'd have to be able to survive up to the point where they win their prize. And I think that makes it a real contest. Now, by the way, I didn't mention all the categories. I know that you're familiar with them, but some of the other categories for competition would be beta-2 agonists, hormone and metabolic modulators, And of course, we would also have, and this is a great category, enhancement of oxygen transfer, but not by taking drugs like erythropoietin, which increases the red blood cells, but by the real doping thing where you store your red blood cells and put them back in. And there's a variety of different substances where you can do the same thing to enhance your performance and win a prize after you have been excluded from competing in whatever event you were competing in. So I think this is going to be pretty interesting. There's also the field, the area of chemical and physical manipulation. And then my favorite is going to be gene doping. Okay? And gene doping is, of course, when you do a transfer of nucleic acids or sequences of nucleic acids, or you take cells and you genetically modify them and you put them into your body, or cause cells that are already in your body to be modified by various vectors that cause these changes. Now, of course, this list that I've just given you is by no means complete. And there are truly hundreds and hundreds of substances which I have before me, which I'm not going to present to you, but perhaps I'll make a link there. And I think what we'll need is, we'll really need to get this going, because I think this is an exciting and important event that could really make a difference. Because why waste a good thing?